Welcome back, learners. We are discussing here lipids, and we have seen there in the previous part what are the fats and which type of molecules present in fats. We have seen there the natural structure of natural fats, trans fats, and learners, here in this part we will discuss artificial fats, and along with the artificial fats we will discuss what are the waxes and some other important class of lipids, that is phospholipids. We are going to discuss in this part, learners, because in the previous part we had discussed about the natural fats and trans fat, how we can convert oils into trans fats. Learners, like trans fats, in market we are getting artificial fats. So what is artificial fats? The Olestra is a name, brand name, which we can find in our eating things like pizza, burger, and all the many products. This is a brand name of artificial fat, that is a Olestra, and we called it synthetic fat, man-made fats. So why we called it artificial fats? Because as I told you, fats store energy, provide energy, but this is a calorie free substitute in various fat foods. And why this is a calorie free substitute? Because it is passed through the body without being absorbed. Our body, our intestine cannot absorb easily this fat, that is why this is calorie free fat, but it is harmful for our body, it is harmful for our system, gastrointestinal problems, and a lot of we can see weight gain if we take excess of artificial fats. Now this is the structure of artificial fats. So you can clearly see the structure of natural fats. In the previous part we had discussed what is the structure of natural fats, and we have discussed there that natural fats contains a glycerol molecules which is present in our body, which we get that glycerol molecules from the glycolysis process from our carbohydrates, from glucose. But in this structure you can say this is the structure of Olestra, that is a synthetic fats. Here this is a sucrose polyester, and sucrose is esterified with 6 to 8 long chain carboxylic acid. So that's why it just gives the taste to our food, but cannot absorb by our intestine, cannot absorb by system. So that's why it is released our body without absorbing it. Learners, what is the waxes? So waxes are the esters formed from long chain carboxylic acid and long chain alcohols. So long chain carboxylic acid and long chain alcohols are form waxes. Waxes are water insoluble solid compounds. So this is the structure of bee wax. So bee wax we get from the bee hives. This is the structure, CH3 CH2 whole 24 having a ester linkage, CO double bond O and CH2 whole 29 CH3. So we can see a long chain fatty acids is a part of bee wax. So bee wax is structural material of bee hives. Similarly, Carenuba wax, which is present in coating of leaves. Sometimes you feel the touch of that leaves is slightly greasy. So that is due to presence of a wax, and that is Carenuba wax, which is act as a coating of the leaves. Here this is the structure. And third type of wax, the example of wax is spermaceti wax, and it is present in head of sperm whale. So these are the structure of natural waxes. Synthetic waxes, everybody knows we get synthetic waxes from petroleum products, but these are the structure of natural waxes, and these are the biomolecules. This comes into the category of lipids because these are not soluble in water, these are insoluble, these are soluble in fats only. Learners, another very important topic which I am discussing here rancidification. Sometimes you feel a lump in our milk or some very strange smell in milk, or also you feel some sticky oils. You left our oil for a while in a open, we get a sticky type of touch in oils or some strange smell in oils also. So this is called rancidification. What happened in the rancidification is a very important natural process. Learner, this is also natural process. So what is the rancidification? During the rancidification, polyunsaturated fats or oils easily oxidized by oxygen, which is, or we can say atmospheric oxygen, oxidized the fats present in the oil or present in the milk. This is called rancidification. So oxidation of polyunsaturated fats or unsaturated or fats which is present in oil or fats is called rancidification, or we can say decomposition of fats and oil. Decomposition of fat and oil is called rancidification. How this happens? So long chain storage or contact of oil or fats with sunlight or moisture. Here fats undergoes decomposition, and after the decomposition we get a unpleasant smell or sour taste. Learners, this is called rancidification. There are different ways of rancidification. It is also natural process. One is oxidative rancidification, another is hydrolytic rancidification, another is third one is enzymatic rancidification. What is oxidative rancidification? Oxidative rancidification involved oxidation of carbon double bond. As I told you, fats is a molecules of glycerol and unsaturated long chain fatty acid. The fatty acid can be unsaturated or saturated. So during the oxidative rancidification, the double bond present in the fatty acids or fats is oxidation takes place, and during the oxidation the fats and oils produce precipitation, right? And during the precipitation we get lumps or sometimes very bad odors. So bad odor caused by the oxidation of unsaturated fatty acids, chain of lipids by atmospheric oxidation. During the oxidation we get alkoxy peroxide radicals. That alkoxy peroxide convert into keto compound and then finally alcohol. So this is the method you are looking on the screen. There is a chain initiation, chain propagation and chain termination. So free radical mechanism takes place, and finally in chain radical reaction we get a aldehyde, ketones and alcohols. So due to conversion of that fatty acids into alcohol, into ketones, we get a very bad smell or bad taste. So this is, you can see here initiation steps, then propagation steps, formation of free radicals. That free radicals react with atmospheric oxygen, we get a alkoxy free radicals react with another molecule of fatty acid present in fat, we get alcohols, and in chain termination steps this process repeat and finally we get a stable product. All the free radicals combined with each other to form a stable product in the form of ketones, in the form of aldehyde and in the form of alcohols. So another type of rancidification is hydrolytic rancidification. What is hydrolytic rancidification? During the hydrolytic rancidification, it is used by some enzyme, it is catalyzed by enzyme. So we use here lipase enzyme. So rancidity of fats causes disagreeable smell and change in texture. And how it takes place? You can see here because there is a hydrolytic rancidification. hydrolysis of fats molecules takes place in presence of an enzyme called lipase. So, it is reaction is catalyzed by enzymes. So, during that hydrolytic rancidification, we get glycerol and fatty acids. Now, because here in fatty acids there is a ester bond, during the hydrolytic rancidification, ester bond is broken into glycerol and fatty acids. Fatty acid example butanoic acid, hexanoic acid, octanoic acid give unpleasant rancid smell and taste to butter and milk. Similarly, oleic acid, which is present in chocolate, give oily or fatty flavors. Lauric acid, which is present in coconut and palm oil, we feel soapy flavor. Also same soapy flavor we sometimes observe in cocoa butter. So, these are the some fatty acids. There is having mono unsaturated long chain fatty acids. Third type of rancidification process, oxidation of these fatty acids. So, oxidation takes place through enzymatic reactions. This is called enzymatic rancidification. So, here again lipase enzymes react, catalyze the fatty acid fats, and we get again glycerol and fatty acids. So, this is a process. Unsaturated fatty acid present in the fats convert into free radicals. We get can be oxygen, can be enzymes, can be hydrolysis, and it converts into hydroperoxide. Hydroperoxide, then we get a breakdown into product, stable product like ketones, like aldehydes, like alcohols or hydrocarbons, or sometimes acid and epoxides. So, here polymerization takes place, and due to polymerization of hydroperoxide during the rancidification process, it is toxicity and color change takes place in that fats or that in oil molecules. Learners, as I told you, the classification, we can classify lipids into simple lipids and compound lipids. So, simple lipids we had discussed fatty acids, fats, oils and wax. Now, we will discuss compound lipids. The important lipid which is a part of compound lipid is phospholipids. This is also called phospholipids, phosphatides. So, phospholipids also called phosphatides. It is a major structural component of cell membrane, and almost all the cell which is present in our body contain phospholipids. It provides barriers in all cell membrane. It is used as emulsifier, easily oxidized due to presence of unsaturated fatty acids, and it is beneficial for human health, very important for our liver, and it is capable of repairing damaged liver which is caused by alcohol or sometimes poor diet, and some can be sometimes other factors. And source of that phospholipids are eggs, milk, marine foods and some plant oils. Learners, egg also contain phospholipids, and phospholipids contain glycerol plus 2 fatty acid plus phosphate groups. Here, when this is the structure of phospholipids, you can see in a ring, this is a phosphate group which is attached with the glycerol unit, and in the 2 strands you are looking the fatty acids. So, here 2 part, one is ring which is a red color you are looking on a screen, that is hydrophilic parts, or we can say polar end, and the strands you are looking as a long chain fatty acid, that is a hydrophobic part or non-polar part of phospholipids. So, when many phospholipids line up, they form a double layer, and this is also called bilayer, and this is the characteristics of all mammal layers. So, this is a layer of phospholipids in our cell. You can see the head is upwards, the head which is represent the hydrophilic parts is upwards and hydrophobic part is downwards. So, in this way they form a bilayer of phospholipids, right. So, this is the bilayer structure of phospholipids in our cell membrane. Now, as I told you, this is the structure of fats. So, simply fats is a glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acids. Now, what is the chemical composition of phospholipids and how we will write the structure of phospholipids. So, this is the phospholipids. You can see here, learners, a glycerol molecules, and in the glycerol molecules the last carbon or any carbon of the glycerol molecules have a phosphatic acids, or we can say phosphoacyl glycerols. So, 2 molecules of long chain fatty acid plus 1 molecule of phosphate groups make phospholipids. Now, how will you represent the phospholipids? Learners, as I told you in the writing method of fats, we have to represent phospholipids in a same way. You make a long bar, that long bar represent the glycerol molecules, and horizontal bars, 2 horizontal bars represent the 2 fatty acid, and the one last bar we have to write P, that represent the phosphate group, and nitrogenous base, that phosphate group present with attached with nitrogenous base. So, this is the structure of phospholipids. Now, phospholipids, fatty acids plus alcohol plus phosphoric acids, and along with the phosphoric acid I have to explain you in the previous slide, there is a nitrogenous base. So, on the basis of alcohol, on the basis of nitrogenous base, we can classify the phospholipids. So, phospholipids can be classified on the basis of alcohols if the phospholipids contain glycerol, right. If that phospholipids can contain glycerol and sphingol. So, 2 types of alcohols that phospholipids can contain, one is glycerol, one is sphingol, both are the alcohols. If there is a glycerol present in phospholipid, that we call glycerophospholipids or phosphoglyceride. Understand, right? So, I am repeating here, if the glycerol, that phospholipids contain glycerol and that glycerol called glycerophospholipids or phosphoglyceride. Similarly, in place of glycerol, when there is a sphingol, I will coming slides I will tell you the structure. If that glycerol is replaced by sphingol, we call, or sphingol also called sphingosine. This is called sphingophospholipid. So, this is a simple way you have to represent here. We can represent 2 fatty acid plus phosphate, and phosphate, this glycerol or alcohol can be different. This can be glycerol, this can be sphingols, right. So, here this is the structure when phosphate is attached with the nitrogenous base. So, if the phospholipids contain glycerol and that glycerol contain phosphate group, and that phosphate group is attached with different nitrogenous base, that nitrogenous base can be choline, serine, ethanolamine and inositol. So, this is the molecular structure of nitrogenous base. So, here you can see the structure of choline, structure of serine. Serine is, as everybody we knows, the alpha amino acid, and this is the structure of ethanolamine, and last one is inositol. So, these are the nitrogenous base which can be attached with the phosphate group in phospholipids. Now, fatty acids plus alcohols plus phosphoric acid along with the nitrogenous base. So, we will see here glycerophospholipids which contain glycerol as a alcohol and that for one phosphate groups and two fatty acids when the phosphate group attached with nitrogen group. So, we will see here example, this glycerophospholipids, lecithin, this is also called phosphatidylcholine, cephalin, this is also called phosphatidylethanolamine, phosphatidylserine, plasmalogen, phosphatidylinositol and lysophospholipids. So, all are glycerophospholipids. What does it means? These are the phospholipids which contain glycerol as a molecules, two long chain fatty acids plus a phosphate group. That phosphate groups attached with nitrogenous base. So, this is the structure I will explain you. Lecithins. So, this is glycerophospholipids or we called it phosphatidylcholine because here the phosphate group is attached with a nitrogenous base. This is a choline. It is most abundant in all membrane. Our membrane, in the membrane, all membrane our body contain 50% of that glycerophospholipids, and here the phosphate group is attached with the nitrogen base which is a choline. So, you have to represent over here. This is a simple way. Learner, this is a very simple way to represent this glycerophospholipid which contain choline. You just write the two fatty acids. That fatty acid can be monounsaturated, one monounsaturated, one can be polyunsaturated. So, glycerol plus one carbon is esterified with phosphate and choline. So, this is called phosphatidylcholine or lecithin. Lecithin used as emulsifiers, agent in food industry and cosmetics, used also in pharmaceutical as an organic emulsifier, and this is amphoteric surfactant or as an emulsifier. It to prevent the combination of two lipids, and due to that these lipids can repel water and oils. So, learners, in this part we had discussed phospholipids. What are the phospholipids? And phospholipids can be two types depending upon the nature of alcohols. The alcohols can be glycerol. If there is a glycerol structure, glycerol, one molecule is glycerol which is esterized with two fatty acids and one phosphate plus nitrogen base, we call this glycerophospholipid, and when glycerol is replaced by sphingol, we call sphingophospholipid. Thank you.